Born ready. Hi everybody, I'm Lynn from L&J Goods. Welcome. Sorry for the delay today. You know, it's Monday, and you know what I just realized? That when we went live on Wednesday last week, I think I said it was Monday, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yes,
And I didn't even
yes.
catch it.
Well, hey, welcome. So happy to have you here. L&J Goods is a brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York, and of course, you can find us at lnjgoods.com. Today we are going to be doing a quick, well, I don't know if it's quick, but a special Valentine puffy heart project, and we're going to be using a bunch of different techniques. So that'll be fun. And I think this is probably going to be it for Valentine's Day. I do have a little edited video that I'll be sharing with you with a few quick, easy Valentine projects. That's coming up. And then we're headed straight into Easter and spring. So how exciting is that? While we had snow flying into our windows this morning when they were removing our windows upstairs as part of this whole window restoration project we're doing here at L&J Goods. And I did pop up a video because I'm sharing that whole process and the DIY of it all. And I know I'm going to be involved in actually hands-on helping and learning how to restore a window. I'm kind of excited because I've heard JR talk about like muttons and blind stops and thresholds and all that stuff, and like I never knew what it meant or even how a window functions. So it's kind of a little bit of a different direction, but it kind of runs right alongside what we do here, what we believe in, and that is using what we have and restoring these wonderful old vintage and antiques and preserving the history of our building and of this community. So anyway,
I'm excited because it's my husband.
It is.
So if you go over and watch that video, you're also supporting what my husband does for a living, which does line up with, and it's just another great business here in Medina, New York.
Yep.
And it really does, I think, blend really well with what we do at L&J Goods, what we've always done, which is take old things and make them new again.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow that journey, I've linked to that playlist that Mom's just started with her first video.
Yep.
That's linked down below on YouTube, and I can make that the pinned comment on Facebook so that you can find it. But that really just got started today. It was very exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And I think for like I said, for me, you're right. It runs parallel to what we do here, and I think that it's gonna. I think if you watch as we get toward the end of this kind of little restoration project that we're doing here, you're going to hear about some potential opportunities for you to learn on your own and have hands-on and be a part of all of that. So It's cool. It's really cool.
I'm very excited.
Anyway, so today I wanted to I am going to turn the camera down in a minute so you don't have to look at the top of my head. But just had to do one thing there. And let me flip that camera down. But welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. We're going to go down to view number 2 and try to get me adjusted here so that you can see what I am doing. How about that? Oh, look, we've got notes from Shirley and all kinds of things. So today we're actually going to do a few different things that are, well, one thing that's a little new to us, and this is the Formflex compound that we do have here at L&J Goods now. It is not an air dry clay. It is a totally different thing. So this is a modeling compound, but when it dries, it's flexible. So let me show you a few samples of that. And I know that there's a lot of you already that use FormFlex. And so I just wanted to show you, like this is after it's cured and dried. Like, check it out. Like, you can literally bend it at minimal to no cracking or shrinkage. So that's pretty cool. And I can see this being utilized in a lot of different ways. Oh my gosh, look at, there's a bracelet right there. Anyway, so fun, and I'm excited to use it. I have been playing around with it for a few weeks now. I wouldn't say that I'm a master of it, but the owners, Tammy, has a lot of good information about this product and how to use it over on the FormFlex page. So we just wanted to bring it. First of all, I just wanted to try it, and she was generous enough to send me. Let me see. Generous enough to send me some samples, and I decided, you know what, I'll bring a little bit in, and let's make it available for you to purchase here as well. So again, why I'm not, it doesn't mean I'm not using air dry clay, because I love air dry clay. I love these for different reasons. Again, just like if you ask me which paint is my favorite, I'm going to tell you, don't make me pick. It's like asking which of my children I love the most, and now Megan's going to say, well, we know who your favorite child is.
Stop using that example. It's silly. If we could have picked a favorite paint, we would have picked a favorite paint. We couldn't, and so we didn't. Right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I love this. I love this. So this is a rice paper set by the ITD collection. We have a lot of these sets, and they're really, really cool because each set has 11 different papers. Yep. And you've seen me use these lots in the past. And so I wanted to pull out the Shabby Chic for spring because it's got so many wonderful little images and great backgrounds for kind of that Valentine thing. Look at how sweet she is.
I feel like those are a really good deal, too.
These are a good deal. So lots of cute little images here. I'm just going to quickly run through this. Look at this. We got bunnies, and more bunnies. Great for your little minis. A pretty floral background. I love this one. I'm going to be using one of the birds from this today, I think. And here's a nice background. If, fingers crossed, if I do this in a hurry, if I do this quickly, I might be able to get some fine line crackle on here. But look at this. Oh my gosh. I like this. I'm thinking I might want to snag some of that for the opposite side of my heart. And I'm going to pull this one aside too. But check this out. So many good papers in there. And they all are kind of themed together. So like if you're doing a journal or you're doing a mixed media project and you're like, I don't know what to put together, or I have such a hard time like choosing papers to go together. Anything in this collection will go with anything else, right? So I'm going to pull these out for us to use in a few minutes. And did you have another one, Megan? Actually, show me all of them. I mean, we've got so many.
Stephanie, do you mean where can you buy the papers?
Right here, babe. Sorry. Where did that come from? I don't say that.
So if that's what you're asking, you can buy them at lnjgoods.com.
Look at this. Is called Flower Post Rose. And just so many beautiful textury, great backgrounds. These are good. You know, for a while I kind of forgot about using these. This one's called Rosy Summertime. Again, look at that crackle. I mean, it's such a pretty paper. I love these like kind of barnwood sort of textures. Yeah, now I'm inspired to like use these.
Yeah, they're so
again,
useful.
right. But we have a lot of them. If you scour the website, how about Vintage Angels? Can I see that one too for a minute?
I think they're very useful, especially for very like smalls projects like this, and they coordinate.
I have used this before on a live. This is called Vintage Angels. That would be another really pretty one for a project like I'm doing today. And it's just all those beautiful neutral sepia tones.
So I've linked to a couple different ones that Mom will use today in the supply list for today. But if you were searching on our website, just search set of 11 and they'll all pop up.
All right, guys. So this is what we're working with today. This is a 2-part plastic heart. We still do have some of these in stock. It's about a 4-inch heart. You might want to link to the video that I shared using these hearts on this YouTube video. So I use these hearts here. Okay. So Megan, you might want to link to that if you can.
We're getting some FormFlex questions. Do you want those now or when
no,
you,
we'll
when
wait.
you start
we'll
using
wait
them?
Just a minute. I'm gonna begin to prep this.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of figure out which designs we're going to use, and then we'll get into the FormFlex.
So
okay?
I'm not ignoring any of you. Just so you know, I just had a feeling she would prefer for me to ask those once she gets into that.
Right. Thank you.
Patrice, what part did you want me to repeat? Let me just kind of go over where the supplies are really quickly so that I can kind of get that out of the way. So all of the things that Mom's showing, because I'm getting some questions about that, including those sets of rice papers that she just showed to you, are in the supply list that I've created for today. You can find that supply list linked in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, or in the description above if you're watching on Facebook. If you're on a computer, you could go to ellenjgoods.com, look for featured on our live tutorials right up at the top of the page. It's a drop-down menu. You'll look for today's date and the title of this video, and you can find the supply list there. Or if you're on a mobile device, you'll look for the 3 little lines in the upper left-hand corner and follow those same directions. You just look for that menu, title, featured on our live tutorial, and look for today's live. You can find everything there. Yes, and there's several different sets of these papers. They're all in our decoupage category.
I'm going to say one thing. These are almost as good as a bundle up pack, right?
The deal is very good, and they're all already coordinated for you. So it's almost a better deal.
Yeah,
because you know they're coordinated.
Exactly. All right, so I'm not going to do this. I just kind of was motioning while Megan was talking. I have prepared this with some bonding primer. I like to use that on plastic, metal, any shiny or glass, if I'm going to be applying other mediums over it, and it truly does create a true bonded finish for applying paint or decoupage or anything else. So that is what I did here. I did both sides of the heart. So I am ready now to kind of lay out what I'm going to do on here. So my thought is I have to decide first whether I'm going to create a little frame. This is Dainty Flourishes, but I'm going to show you some other options to use as well. I do like this, and with Megan's permission, I will use this, but I'm going to...
I think she should. She's saying with my permission because right now IOD does not have Dainty Flourishes in stock, so we're out of stock. That's a great time for me to let you know what to do when that happens. If there's something you really want and you see it's out of stock on our website. If there's something out of stock in IOD on our website, that typically will mean that IOD is out of stock because we really carry the full line and keep it in stock at all times, I would say, for the most part. So when that happens, you'll see right below a product, there's a little space where you can put your email in to be notified when something comes back in stock. So you just plug your email address in there and you'll get just what it sounds like, an email notification. As soon as I add that inventory back in stock, you'll be the first to know about it. So right now we don't have Dainty Flourishes back in stock, but that's what Mom felt really inspired to use for this project. And I hate to have her not use that. And I know a lot of you probably already have it. So she's going to show you what to do with that, but also give you some other options.
Yep. So the first thing I'm going to do is once I determine the shape that I want on here, again, I'm going to do just a heart shape. I'm just going to kind of sketch around here so that I have an idea about where my paper is going to be. And then I'll just kind of repeat that on the other side. And of course, I will double check this just to make sure. But I'm just lightly, kind of lightly sketching out that shape. So this one is one that you really got to kind of think about and plan your project. Just plan it out. All right. So I have that rough shape right there. And again, there will be decoupage. I'm going to do a focal decoupage here. And the reason we're late today is I literally had, because I'm working on Easter projects as well. And Megan's like, Mom.
Well, I was making the supply list. I was like, interesting you're using Easter creatures.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Why don't we change that up
and maybe more romantic.
Do something, you know, a little more Valentine-y, but this could also be springy. So I like that too. And I'm digging this little lady right here.
But there'll be lots of time for spring. I think we should bust out any kind of romance that we have here, which we do have some. But a bird can add a little romance.
I'm just trying to pick the right. Oh, look at that sweet little. Well, I think about vintage Valentines and the fact that, you know, they showed all manner of different creatures. Yeah.
Sandy just got her box from last week's live. She loves the book box. I'm so glad you love it.
Oh, good. Isn't that just a great piece? I love that.
Everyone was having lots of fun in the insider group, showing off their crafting spaces.
Oh,
that was very fun.
Wasn't that something?
Yes, keep doing it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I got brave and I really showed you behind the scenes. I'm glad I was a big encouragement for all of you. It made you feel better about yourself.
I felt like it made everybody encouraged to show what's going on.
Yeah.
And make them feel like they're not alone.
So I am eyeballing this. What I should have done is made a paper pattern there, but I didn't. So you know me. Which means that probably partway through this, I'm going to be like, doggone it. Why did I do this, that, or the other? Right? But I think that's going to fit perfectly. Look how sweet and precious that little bird is. Oh my gosh. I love this. Okay, so, and I've made sure that I have given myself a generous border here because I know I'm going to be covering up, but what I don't want to do is come short of that little outline. And we'll fiddle and fuss with this a little bit later as we proceed. But then you've got, I mean, look at, you can make 12 more of these. Or these are great on little brooches. Oh my goodness. Little brooches. For example, here's one that is a form flex, which I was going to use on here if I had to, but we're going to get to this in just a minute. But I mean, this is also one you could use if you don't have Dainty Flourishes. This is a beautiful little way to add some detail and that focal point on this heart. I almost am looking at this and like, oh, I really like that.
That's really cute.
And
all these little birds you could make a pretty little spring garland somehow.
Yeah, you could. Those. But so these are great. They kind of fit right inside here. This is IOD frames. Is it the number one?
Yep, that's frames one.
Frames one.
It's actually just called frames.
Frames, just frames. It's just called frames. But so cool. So this is one that I had cast before, and you can see it's not completely dry because I've only had it out of the freezer a couple of hours. But I'm going to be covering this, laying it on parchment, and letting it get a little crust over it, and then I'll put it into like an air dry, like Ziploc bag or something, to make sure that stays nice and flexible. But like I showed you before, that clay there, I can't call it clay. The FormFlex compound is it's easy to use, I would say. I mean, there are some little tricks to it, obviously. I haven't learned it all, but I'm willing to go along on this ride with you guys. So let's.
Are you okay with answering some questions?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah.
So can it be shipped during the winter?
Yes. So this actually, when you get this, I mean, we got this when it was freezing.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see in a minute how we actually use this FormFlex compound in the molds, and then put it in the freezer to pop it out. And I had one that I bunged up earlier, and lo and behold, I popped it out. It was frozen. I warmed it up in my hands, and I could use it all over again. It was just as soft and wonderful to use again. So
that's cool.
So I'm going to do a couple of these, and then I will, like, this is from Classic Elements. This is, like I said, frames. So what you want to do is do a light dusting of cornstarch in the mold. You want a clean silicone mold. Don't look at mine. But you want a light dusting of cornstarch in here to keep it from sticking.
Could you use the spray like you do with resin, or is that
no,
resin?
That's only for resin. Okay. And then you'll kind of roll it into a snake-like bit for pieces that are long, or like the trimmings, those kinds of things, or dainty flourishes, or like this piece right here. I would roll out a little snake, a little tube of that compound, and push it in there. So let me go ahead and show you.
So that's kind of like air dry clay.
But it's not.
But I mean, that's kind of like what you would also do with air dry clay. So
yeah, far. But I just don't want to even use air dry clay in any kind of a description of it, because it's a totally different
I don't mean that it feels like it. It just, that's also what you would do. You would also roll that into a tube similar to the shape of
usually
what you're
that's what I do. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to get that pressed in there, and I don't want this to dry out, so it comes in a nice foil resealable bag.
That was someone's question. Does it dry quickly?
It's going to take, let me see, I got to remind myself. Place the mold in the freezer, remove from freezer. Place the casting on parchment until dry. To use immediately, allow 10 minutes for casting to come to room temperature, then apply to the surface with your adhesive. So, yeah, that's, I mean, it's really hard to kind of explain. And like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm going to learn right along with you. I will make some mistakes. I may do some things wrong, but we're going to all do this together. Then I'm just going to take a flat palette knife and pull that excess off of there. Literally, I'm running along the micro rim on the IOD mold, and it's like there's no waste. It's so cool. All right, so let me go ahead and do this one. So here, I'll take a little lump of the compound, And I'm just going to kind of roll it, get it nice and warm in my hands. I don't want it. Okay, and I'm just going to press this into that mold. I'm going to remove the excess right now. Just slice that right off. And we'll do this a couple of times because I still need to press this down some more. So you can use a credit card, you can use whatever, the IOD, you know, silicone blade, whatever you have that has a nice flat surface to really press that into place.
Tammy asked a question that I was curious about too. When it's completely dry, can you push your fingernail in?
Well, we're going to test that in just a second. We'll look at some that I have already.
And Tracy asked, is there any point at which it becomes totally ridged?
Rigid?
Rigid.
Sorry. Not that I'm aware of, as long as you keep it in a sealed bag.
Maybe she means on a piece.
Where it becomes, yes. Yeah, once you paint it, it's gonna be hardened. This is also great. It's weather resistant as well. So let's look. I don't know if you can see this. This is one that I did several days ago. And yeah, I can push my thumbnail into it, but it really does like pop back up. So it's pretty cool. Like now I can't see that thumbprint in there. Let me see if I can show you another piece.
Is there an odor to it? I don't
smell anything. And those of you that have used FormFlex, please weigh in. Tell us what you think of it, and give us any tips that you might have. Okay, so here's some of the IOD trimmings. Okay, I mean, look, it remains really flexible, and this is many weeks old here. And can I look, once that is really hardened? No, I cannot push my thumb into it. So once it's completely cured, no. But oh, check this out. Like how many times? I mean, I am really pushing hard. It might leave a little tiny dent, but then it pops right back. So yeah, I don't know what this is that they make it out of. I don't need to know. It's just really cool, and it's a great option for us to use in our IOD molds. I love using clay when I want that wonderful weathered effect, and I want cracking, and I love that for that purpose. And resin, as you know, is resin, and we're all familiar with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into the freezer, and we're going to let that sit for about 20 minutes, and then we'll uncast these.
So you always have to put it in the freezer?
Yes.
Okay.
But just, you know, because it's TV land here. This one has been in the freezer. Okay. So in order to uncast, and I'll be doing this again, I want to separate the mold. So this is cold, right straight out of the freezer. I just want to separate the mold from the compound just by flexing my mold. I got a funky thumb here, so it's hard for me to. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to pop that out. Now I would lay this on parchment and let that dry, and throw it in a Ziploc bag. But I can use it like this if I want to. I do want to make sure that this is out of the freezer for a little while, otherwise it will break and crack because it's frozen. So we're going to let that come to room temperature. Then we can use this as part of our little assemblage here.
Do you need to prime Formflex?
Not that I'm aware of. We're going to try it. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start getting this decoupaged. We want to put this little birdie right here in the middle.
Betty says, when all my friends were pouring resin, I was using Formflex. I love the product. You can cut it with a knife, but it is hard to make a nail mark in. Yeah. I've also left some of mine in the freezer for days. It comes out of the mold pretty easily. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Betty, for that. Yes. So I'm just carefully kind of trimming away around my little heart shape here. Again, if you wanted to, you could make a little paper pattern. I just want to make sure that the bulk of this is trimmed away.
Patrice, I'm going to text you a link to the pack that the birds are found in, okay? To make it easy for you.
So I'm basically just taking little bite-sized bits off of here to get to that line that I drew. So, how about this, you guys? I don't know if any of you have seen in the tribe, but you know my great admiration and respect for Gia from the Netherlands, who is truly, she's one of my most inspirational creatives, and we've followed each other for a long time, and you know that she has come into our private groups before, into our journaling groups, and she's been a little bit camera shy, but she is ready to do a live with me. And so we're working out the details. We'll be sure to let you know when that's going to happen. It's going to be, it's probably not going to be until like the end of, well, probably sometime in March, I would say.
Mom's been begging her forever.
I have been, literally, I have been. You know that. And so she has been so sweet. We got an email from her. We've been messaging on Instagram. And so I know she's a little nervous about it, but she's going to teach us.
So exciting.
That is so cool. I'm very excited. So we have another live coming up with Vasilis just to share some more pent art techniques. Oh my gosh. Who knew? Who knew that this would happen? You know what I mean? That we have the opportunity to create across the world like this. I love this. Okay, let me grab some of my Decoupage Varnish and Glue du jour. Decoupage Varnish and Glue by Pentart is our decoupage medium of the day.
And our varnish and our glue of the day.
Right? And so let's get this.
Sharon has also used Formflex for a while and loves it.
Good.
Linda Gardner's watching in bed. She's having a sick day.
Oh, Linda.
I'm sorry, Linda. I hope you feel better. Get lots of rest.
Let's get this.
But also, she's been using Formflex for years. She loves its versatility, and their service is great, she says.
Yep. I love it. I mean, you know, there are, well, I don't know how I want to say it, so I won't. But anyway, we do have it. You know, we can offer it at the price that we have. I would say the most advantageous for you would be to include one of these in one of the, like, include the Formflex that you buy from us in one of those flat rate shipping things.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't just buy it by itself.
Yeah.
Obviously. That's always the best. The best, yeah. Oh, Leah's here.
Hi, Leah.
Leah, I miss you so much.
How sweet. All right, and now we're going to take this background. I'm going to put that aside for now. And so our friends that are experienced with FormFlex, when you have, how long do you let it dry like this? How long do you let it dry after we've demolded?
That's a good question, Melissa. It probably would depend on the resin. And I would have to really work that out, like the cost compared with resin. Like, I wonder, like, how many molds would that fill? Like, how many because you know how it does break it down on the mold itself.
Yep.
But some resin, it just depends on the resin, because some resin is more costly, depending on, like...
Yeah. Okay, I'm going
to figure that out,
I'm going to save this little gal here. And the other little gal.
How big is this pack? The thing of aluminum we sell is like $24.95. And that's how many ounces?
This is a pound.
Yeah, I'm talking about the aluminum.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, we're talking about a weight volume, so it's hard to compare. Like, it's like apples to oranges.
And then the thing of Alumilite is 32 ounces, but that's liquid. You have to almost just, like, use it like a pack compared to, like, a thing of resin.
Yeah. I think it's a nice option. I really do. Okay, so I just cut these little girls out to save for another project. Aren't they sweet? And then we're going to start to fill the back of this heart. So we also will have an announcement on Wednesday regarding both camps.
You're really going to say that out loud? Okay, Mom.
On Wednesday. Yeah, I told you. I told you we're doing
that. I know you said that to me privately. But that's very ambitious. I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you.
I really was, like, just hoping for next week. So
listen,
I'm very pleased.
Everything.
Very happy.
I have a calendar now and a flow chart. So
I really felt like Christmas ended and everyone started emailing me like, please tell me when's camp. I need something to look forward to. I
am so excited about the spring camp, and you know, I've got the projects completed for that. And, you know, there's just been, oh my goodness, so much happening. I'm just trimming all of these edges off because I don't know what what I'm using of this and what will be left behind.
Linda, you really didn't miss anything. We really started carrying FormFlex starting now.
Yeah.
So you're not behind. But yes, Wednesday we should be announcing both camps. Both of the 2025 camps will be announced.
Yep.
So you will have options. Hopefully that will make everyone happy.
Okay.
And will you have your Ohio everything ready for that by Wednesday too?
No, that's coming. But Sue and Devin are creating. Oh, please don't. If you are using a heat gun or blow dryer on plastic, don't melt them.
I've melted hearts many times before. Okay. She has.
Isn't that sweet? So keep that heat gun moving. I just want to get this dried so I don't pull up any of that decoupage paper when I flip this over. But oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about, you know, the weeks and the months ahead and some of the small furniture projects and techniques that I have to share, and just some wonderful spring projects, and oh my, there's so much. There's so much.
Yes. Much to look forward to, and I think that's very important in January.
Well, it is, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to do the back first, I think. And as you know, you've seen me decoupage these funky shapes before. We just kind of lay them on there, And I'm going to have to just break it into bits is what I'm going to have to do. So let me just start doing that. Look at how pretty. And we'll just begin to kind of piece these all together on here. We'll see where it goes, okay? So we're just going to start doing that. Love these colors so much. Okay, let's see. All right, and then what I like to do with these, I just keep that water handy. I'm gonna kind of make a little bit of a pleat in there by tearing a little piece out, and then I'm gonna just work this around. Let me tear another bit.
We try not to let the snow and cold get us down. Sometimes it's actually not, as for me, it's not the cold and snow that gets me down. It's the solid block of gray sky that can get me down. And I try not to let it get me down, but it's a biological thing in your body when there is no sunlight for days and days and days at a time. Your body and your mind really does need that.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to combat it. I know this is something that happens, so I just went right at it with my vitamin D, my fish oil, I always take magnesium, but I'm making sure to take extra magnesium so my body will absorb that vitamin D. Mom and I got a walking pad for the shop so that, you know, I try to always walk, but sometimes it can be very hard if you're feeling down already to be motivated to get out and walk, just even if it was a nice day. But when it's freezing cold, sleeting, sideways snow, bitterly cold, and then you have to be then motivated to get completely bundled up. It's challenging.
Yes.
It's not impossible. People have much more difficult challenges. I know this. But we just know the things we have to do. We have to move our bodies. We have to make sure our bodies are getting the things that they need to function properly. So we're just going to do our best to do those things.
We're on that January challenge.
Yep.
We're not trying to lose weight. We're not trying to do anything like that. We're just trying to make it through each day.
That's right. And be grateful for all of the good things that we have.
Just a point of interest, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I shared in a blog post early, or was it? Yeah, it was a year ago, about, you know, I think recognizing my battle with seasonal depression and how that has impacted me. And so, you know, if you can relate.
I think it's like statistically most people, at least in our area, are deficient in vitamin D. Like if you get your blood work done, it's very, it's pretty much standard. Oh yeah, vibrational plates can be very helpful, Delray.
What is that?
Just what it sounds like. Literally just vibrates your body.
What is that?
It's everything
Craziness.
moving. She has one at Valentine Cottage.
Delray, I've never heard of such a thing.
She's had one there for years.
No kidding.
No, we will be doing actually a Tim project on Thursday. We will always be doing Tim projects. We sell Tim Holtz and we love it. We were just leading up to Christmas committing to doing a Tim Holtz Tuesday every week, and that ended at Christmas. So now we'll be kind of smattering them in here and there. And this Thursday we're going to be doing one with Melanie, right, Mom?
Yep, we are. It is going to be kind of a wintry pieces, but I'm okay with that because we're going to be playing with inks and stamps. Oh gosh, I'm excited.
Oh, yes, we're all praying for California, Rebecca.
Oh, Rebecca. Oh, my goodness. For sure. I think about all of our ladies that are potentially in harm's way, or yeah, it's really scary.
Okay, so why does the Formflex have to go into the freezer?
It hardens it so that it comes, so that it so it doesn't break, I'm thinking also.
Okay, and how long does it have to be in the freezer?
About 20 minutes at least, but you can leave it in there for a long time.
Okay, so there's no amount of time.
No.
Yeah, someone did mention that earlier, that they've left it in there for long periods of time. And what is the normal drying time?
That's what I want to ask one of our girls that's here. When a drying time. I think I left mine overnight and then I sealed them up into the plastic. Into a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag. So maybe one of you could talk about that for a second with me.
Yes, you definitely get that gray in the Northwest as well.
Oh, for sure. They have it. They have a lot of rain there, too.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see I'm just doing a little patchwork with my decoupage, and isn't that so pretty?
I do always think, you know, there are, I'm sure I've said this before, that there are good and wonderful things about the winter. And I do think it's nature's way of telling us it's okay to slow down a little bit. And
you have said that, yeah.
I think it is important to listen to that too. To a point.
Right, and then it's like, okay, enough already.
To a point.
So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm trying to like match my colors a little bit so that it doesn't look like, you know, like an actual patchwork quilt. I do want it to blend a little bit. And then around here, I'm going to work with some of these little plainer colors. So let's see.
Sandy said, I paint Formflex after it's thawed and I've dabbed off the condensation. Someone asked if you can use Formflex on furniture.
Yeah, of course. That would be kind of fun to explore.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
I think so. With the Formflex, drying versus cure time, or is that essentially the same thing? I know it's different with some products like paints.
I think it can be dry enough. It can be dry, but it'll continue to cure. That's what I'm thinking.
Sandy says, to me it's hard to tell when Formflex is dry because it always feels a little cold / damp. That's why I don't wait to paint it.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that tip. I'm actually going to tear this. Make a little tear here. Whoops. So as I'm working with this, you can see that I'm just making little tears to create like a little pleat almost.
Linda says Formflex can be used when it comes back to room temperature, but takes about 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. I'm going to dry this a little bit. Just So I don't have my, you know how you start to get sticky fingers and then it pulls up the paper that's not completely dried.
Oh, Patty says her brother-in-law and his new bride lost his house in Altadena 6 weeks after moving in. They're working hard to stay positive and helping others wherever they can. Oh, it's so tragic.
It really is. Jeez, you guys, I can't believe we're at 50 minutes already. What have we been doing? Am I going to be able to finish this little puffy heart project? These colors almost, they remind me of like Monet.
Patty says, I don't worry about drying. I use them ASAP.
Do you? Okay. Another good tip. Yeah, we'll be adding a little bit of trim around the outside edge. I don't know that we will be able to finish this today. My goodness.
So we kind of talked about this in the beginning, Patty. Just like with our paint, she doesn't like one over the other. She likes them all for different reasons, in reference to the FormFlex air dry clay and resin. Just like we love DIY paint and fusion.
They're completely different.
They're just very different things used for different reasons. So she doesn't really prefer one over the other. And decoupage papers are like that too. That's why we have a few different ones.
Yep.
No favorite, just different purposes.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any. I don't think we're gonna be getting clay on here today, or not clay. Finally, crackle.
Oh,
I know you're disappointed.
I am. Are you gonna ever put crackle in it?
I'd like to. We'll see. Depends on how long these good people are willing to hang in here.
Or you could do a part 2.
We could. I would have to do a part 2 tomorrow, which I could do. See what happens? Sticky fingers and... Oh, dang it, I pulled that right off. But no worries, because we've got plenty of little bits that we can put in there. This almost reminds me of, like when you put it together like this, of an impressionist painting.
Yeah. Patty, we love questions. Keep them coming.
I don't know that I can answer all of them, but we're gonna do our best.
Hi, Tracy.
Okay, let me know. Let's get this dried. Look how pretty that is already on the back. It's very, very Monet-ish.
Sandy says, I always say with IOD clay, I also get the added benefit of a manicure. My hands feel so soft afterwards.
Oh, is that right? to dry.
It seems like our blow dryers are dwindling around here.
They are, Megan. It's true. You know why? My blow dryer bit the dust at home, so I brought one from here. And no, I haven't ordered one yet.
I felt like, though, that we used to have truly like 10 blow dryers.
Well, you know what happens for like workshops and stuff? I would get them.
They just die.
And eventually they die because I just pick them up at like thrift stores and stuff like that.
Well, this time of year, you know, a couple times a day I like to blow dry my feet.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the problem.
Oh, yeah, for the 10 seconds that I blow dry my feet. I'm sure that's what's killing them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm nervous to use the heat gun for my feet.
Oh, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's... Gosh, I'd forgotten how much I love this little paper. Tell you what, if I can get this dry, we can get a coat of
fine line.
Yeah.
If there was a blow dryer in the bathroom, I would take it and blow dry it, but there is not one. Like, we actually don't have a blow dryer in the shop now. Isn't that crazy?
In the back?
No, Shirley looked for one on.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I guess time to.
Well, you should probably get yourself a nice one and bring the.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Where's Mary Casey? Doesn't Mary Casey have tips to share?
Yeah, she was asking some questions earlier.
Oh, good.
But I don't know that she uses FormFlex.
That's okay.
So she wouldn't have any tips. She had
Well,
some
she
good questions. She did. She asked some questions earlier.
No, I'm just saying she usually has some really good tips for us.
But not if we're using a product she's never used.
Like
before.
how I'm struggling with this right now.
Oh.
I expect Mary to say, "Oh, I use a blah 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 blah."
Lisa's suggesting glitter and rock candy.
Oh yeah, Lisa
Croxal. I don't know if I've seen.
Oh, I know that name. I'm familiar
Of course
with
you do.
that name.
She's been here a long time. But of course, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. It's hard when you're just reading it.
All right. Yeah, I do want to get this. You know what, Megan? Maybe I'll pass this over to you, and you can gently. Oops. Sorry. We need a bank of plugs on the other side too, right? All right, so let's get a little bit of our gold paint mixed, and we'll paint up some of these. I think what I'm going to use is right here, because I do love this so much, and I like how it does make a shape of a heart right away, and then I can fill in the top with something else. So I'm gonna cut away the parts that I don't want with a knife. With a blade. Grab it. So I don't want this. Well, that sure cuts easier than resin.
Delroy said, I noticed on your bead mold there was a spot not quite filled in. I was waiting for Mary Casey to say something, and she didn't. I figured if it was good enough for Mary, I better keep my mouth shut. Love you, Mary Casey.
Yeah, right?
Deb says she's with us for the long haul. Thank you, Deb. I knew you would be.
Guys. Please be careful when you're using a sharp implement.
Yeah, Mom, that does not look like you're being careful.
I'm being very careful. All right. And I'm going to cut this little piece off right here. And of course, you know, one of my first times using this in front of you guys, I have to pick the thing, the piece that I have to cut and trim and piece together and all of that, right? Yeah, because that's what I do. This is hot. Holding it far away.
Let her cool down.
You toss that heart around like...
Well, it was literally hot. Burning my fingers.
Like she's worthless. Like she's a worthless old broken heart.
I dropped it like it was hot, is what I did. Crocsall. Thank you.
What's that?
That's how you say her name.
Oh, okay.
Tracy asks, do you ever consider selling your things on Whatnot? I don't know what Whatnot is.
I've heard of that.
But we have this awesome place called LNJGoods.com. That's where we like to sell our stuff. But what is Whatnot?
Whatnot is an app. I know Royce sells there.
So why would she do that instead of just selling on her own website?
I don't know. It probably gets a little different viewership and that kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Interesting.
All right, I'm looking for... These were my little failures that I had. I shouldn't say failures. I should say my experiments, but they're not... Nothing... I'm just going to do that. That is a nice little suggestion of a heart. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint these now.
Oh, Patrice just gave her Bernina to her lovely sister-in-law.
Oh,
but she says she's happy she has it. She
gosh.
lost her machine with her house from the hurricanes.
Oh.
We really are so lucky we don't have extreme weather here of any kind.
Gosh.
Winter goes on a little long, but no extreme weather ever.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, it's like a live auction, I see.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know. They sell here, like these pieces, like very often, you know, you guys will reach out and express an interest and want to buy something, and we are happy to oblige. And then and we put them in the shop too, and they sell that way. So
Can you zoom in a little bit?
sure. Yep. Sorry about that. So there's my heart. I'm going to go ahead and mix up some pigment fix and paint that little heart. And I think I'm going to use this around the outside. Okay, probably going to need a few of those. So I'll at least get one done, and I've got one in the freezer that I can pull out. Let me grab that right now. And then I'll probably have to... This guy didn't even stick. There he is.
That's good, right? You don't want it to stick.
Right. So here again, I'm going to loosen that from the side of the mold. Flip it over, and there it is. I'll let that come to room temperature. Okay, I'm going to do some of my favorite gold. You know what it is. Metal pigment. I need to come up with a jingle for this.
I know.
A little scoop. I was just using this earlier today because I am repairing the project, the mirror, and I needed a little bit of this gold.
just never get tired of watching you mix that.
It's just amazing, isn't it? And it looks so pretty, even like as I'm looking at it on camera. It's just molten metallic magic happening. And it doesn't matter what color pigment it is of these metallics, they all perform beautifully like this.
Sandy says, I love Whatnot because I can get old things to make over, as I can't get out to thrift stores. But I don't see how a creative of your caliber could afford to sell on there because shoppers are looking for big bargains.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
okay, that's interesting, Sandy. Yeah, it's tough to make money as a creative anyway. So I'm grateful that we like have some control. I mean, obviously we have to pay for our website platform. So it's nice. I would prefer to avoid paying for any other website platforms to sell on if we don't have to.
Exactly, right?
But I can see why I can understand what you're saying now. Like that is a different thing. A live auction is a different thing than what we have going on.
Yes.
So I could see why somebody would be wanting to do that.
So I'm just painting right over this. I am not priming. I think maybe I won't need to. We're going to find out. No, I don't think we need to prime. Oh my gosh. Never get tired of this gold.
Molten is the best description. I agree, Lisa.
It really is.
Yes, she puts cornstarch in the mold first. Yes.
Yep. So, I hope that I can mention this. We often have those discussions about Temu, and I don't want to, start a big thing.
Did they get back to you?
No, but I think it's okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to go for it. We had some, and as you know, because I've discussed it a lot, and how I feel about that as an artist, and about how those companies steal and have stolen from me my images to sell counterfeit,
to steal other stolen things,
to promote other stolen, intellectual property, like from IOD molds, for example. And it is, I'm just going to say it, it's disgusting to me. It is no doubt, for a creative, for a designer, for an artist, we opened up a magazine, or a catalog. Shirley brought in a catalog before Christmas, and there was a custom paper that I had designed, and there it was in an art print in this catalog of imports. And it's like, seriously, they are people that remove watermarks. And yes, I understand that I am putting content out there for people to watch, but for
free.
Yeah, as an artist,
it just stinks.
It does stink.
Especially when you're just like and we're like little.
Yeah.
And there's people even littler than us that it's happening to all the time. It just makes it almost impossible for a small business, and especially a small artist, to make a living doing something that you love. And
then, not to mention the fact, look at the time and the money, the resources it would cost to fight something like that. Well, it's not completely impossible.
Well, right? But thank goodness. For us, it would be impossible.
Oh, for us, we
go after Temu and take our things down.
Right.
It would be impossible. We could never afford it, and we would literally cannot even get in contact with them.
No, you know what? They keep sending me stuff. We want to collaborate with you. I'm like,
we're like, honey, you are collaborating with us.
Yeah, right.
We didn't have a choice.
It's a one-sided collaboration. Yes. And so, I will say IOD takes that very seriously.
Yes.
Because, this is our livelihood. This is our livelihood.
Well, and we love working with companies like IOD because they really support small business like ours, small retailers like ours, like us. And I couldn't believe how quickly I was seeing just this last Christmas release from IOD popping up on Temu. Like just knockoffs.
Not that we're seeing it, but people are
people
sharing
showing
that
it.
information.
Not I'm on Temu, but people.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people posting like, "Oh, look, I got this mold that's just like the one from the release that just happened in October."
Yeah. And so, as a small business, those of you that are a creative or sell product like this, like it hurts. It hurts.
Yes.
I always say, somebody eventually pays for that. Someone is going to pay, and it's the small business owner. So, but IOD is making some headway from what I understand, and that's a really, really awesome thing. Yes. So, I'm excited about that, and I hope that they can see their products that they're copying taken off of those sites. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that they meet with great success in doing that.
So if you see something, let us know.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah, and we
share
help
the link with us, and we
blow them in.
Yep, and we will make sure that we can keep IOD informed of those kinds of things. This is the first step of the fine line crackle. Let's get it on here. And I know people have different opinions about that, and I don't want to, I didn't say that to be controversial in any way. It's just the reality of the world we live in right now. And
it's always been the reality that where you spend your dollars do make a difference. It does make a difference.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't understand really the copyright of it all. I do know that for someone like us, it's very expensive to get a copyright. Mom can't copyright everything. Like when she's making a project today and she posts a picture of it, we're not going to copyright that.
I mean, I could write, I could put a thing on there that it's copyrighted, but the fact of the matter is,
it's not reasonable. And so it's just a bummer. So anyway, I'm just excited that they are in a position where they can fight it and that they are fighting it because they really do believe in it.
And let's remember, IOD is a small business too. They're a small business.
Yes.
They are not
They're not Amazon.
They're not Amazon. They're not Creative Co-op. They're not. They're not. That's what we love about them too.
Yeah. Okay, back to Formflex.
Yeah.
The rant's over, but we thought some of you would be. First of all, we want to know if you see stuff because you're more eyes, and IOD wants to know if you're seeing things out there. They want to know. Second of all, I just know that there would be a lot of you that would be happy to hear that they're making some headway there. Okay, back to Formflex. Linda asks, would Formflex be a good option for jewelry?
I don't know. Remember, it's flexible. So if you have a jewelry piece that you want to do that is flexible, I guess I'd say go for it. Try it. Yeah, this is where I end up getting myself in trouble.
Would that little cradle help here?
No, because I have glue on all sides. And what I should have done is, Megan, is done one side And then down the other side.
Beth says, my parents owned a small business, and my husband and I also own a small business, so it's very important to me to support small business. Yeah, it's harder and harder, as you know, Beth. But it matters. Community matters. And I think small business is an integral part of community.
Mm-hmm.
I think you really lose. That's a cog in that wheel that is very important.
Mm-hmm. Need a pair of needle nose pliers. That's what I need.
You must have some, right?
Yeah, they're in the back in my little tool caddy.
That?
Yeah, let me see if that would. Hey, there we go. Why didn't I think of that before?
Patty says it's very similar with like Hobby Lobby, Michaels. They rip off everything that's upcycled, vintage, and just it's just turning it all over as fast as possible.
And you're right. That's what it is. It's just all about turning over cheap product. And I mean, yeah, we do. The nature of import and products is what it is at this stage of the game, and you can't avoid that there are some products that we use that are manufactured.
Of course, we're all guilty of it to some degree, right?
Yeah.
We're all participating in it to some degree, but I personally want to make an effort to be more conscious in what I'm purchasing, all around, not just when it comes to creative things, but my clothing, just all of it.
Yeah, I guess for me, when it comes, from the standpoint of a product like we use for DIY, I mean, you look at like, Josie and Sally or Teresa with Decoupage Queen or Royce. I mean, they literally, they have a creative team which innovates and designs. Yeah. And IOD is literally the first in the market, in the DIY market, to create a decor mold, the size of stamps, the decor level size of stamps that we have, transfers for furniture, inlays. That is their thing. They've innovated. Yeah. It's hours and hours and hours of time and creativity. And for somebody just to rip it off,
it stinks.
It does.
It hurts. Yes. It hurts real people.
It does hurt real people. But honestly, I think that that's been a long time thing in the creative industry as well. I mean, I was...
Well, as our friend Dottie once told me, everything is a creative industry. There's design in everything you look at.
Oh.
In the packaging for something. Everywhere you look, there's design. In the buildings around you, in the roads that you drive on. All of it.
Yeah.
But, like I was just saying a little bit, of course we're all guilty of it. No one is... It's the world that we live in. To some degree, we all have to consume things that... It's almost impossible to be completely ethical in all that we consume and buy each and every day. But even if we just take little bitty steps in the right direction, it does make a difference.
But I think it is possible to consume ethically when it comes to stolen.
Yes,
you know what
course.
I mean.
I just mean across. It can feel very overwhelming to think like, where did each little thing come from that I'm buying?
Oh
each
yes,
day?
I see what you're saying. Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yes, and pick it all apart, and it can be depressing too. Like when you really dig in and look at everything that you buy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But even if you just make a conscious effort to make any step in a better direction, or I think it's important, and it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Even the smallest little thing.
Okay, it's an hour and 20.
Yes.
Do I really want to, I don't know if I want to push this, you guys. I want to get those molds on there so you can see what this is going to look like. But I feel like I don't want to push this to the point where I'm adding that second step and I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we can do a part 2.
Wednesday we're doing something Easter eggy related. So, and it would be a great, and it's decoupage related. So I think we'll just kind of finish this off then.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. And then we'll move on. But I do want to get these kind of on there so you can see how they look.
Yeah, I'm so curious about what now, Tracy. I'm gonna take a peek at it.
Oh, see what I did? Yeah. That's not good. That's what happens when you're trying to speed up the steps, and so I need to let this sit for a bit. And guess what? We'll do part 2 on Wednesday. I just need to touch that up. So yeah, that is one of the I always say, like, don't do what I do, let things dry on their own. It's so much better, and you don't end up with a situation like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm sticking everywhere. So let's just let this be. Let me get one last, I got paper sticking to me. I've got, there it is right there. I'm going to patch over that part. Okay, I've done this before. It'll be fine. And then I am going to let this dry. I'm going to hang this and let it dry.
Patty said, on a more positive note, I'm impressed that Lynn has spent so much time drying that plastic
egg without melting it.
Yes.
Right? I know. Thank you. Thank you for that.
It is a miracle.
I'm trying to get a little.
I know, the coloring is really pretty, isn't it, Annie?
Okay, so I'm just going to hang this and let it dry overnight.
Look at that idea.
Well, I mean, it's hard to manage this on a string when you're trying to paint something.
Yes, or dry it.
Or dry it. Yes. So I'm just going to hang it right from my camera.
That little bird is so cute.
That bird is adorable. So I guess you're going to have to come back on Wednesday.
And we'll be all happy. We won't be ranting.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Did it sound like ranting?
No.
I apologize, you guys.
I hope that we didn't sound like we're ranting.
I hope it's educating. I hope that's
maybe
what it's
a little
doing.
mini rant, but
a little mini rant. Yeah, we're entitled every now and then. Okay, so we're gonna let me flip that camera up so you can take a look at this crazy face of mine
and see how happy you are.
But look, yeah, look at this. I mean, I painted this and it is completely flexible still. This is dry. Isn't that incredible? Whoops, I just broke that because that's cold still. Oh, Lynn, what have you done? It's okay. It's okay. It's all going to be fine. All right?
A coat hanger would work wonderfully, Leah. Thank you.
Thanks, Leah.
Come back, Leah.
So this will be our little heart shape, and we're just going to do this. And our little bird will be inside there. So there it is. Okay.
Lisa said, it will be better with molds and rock candy.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Today is Monday. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes.
For live. We'll finish this
and
up,
Thursday.
and then I'm going to do a little Easter egg project, okay? All right.
So you'll get 2 holidays in one on Wednesday.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Listen, you'll get lots of holidays because you're going to get the finished Valentine's ornament.
Yep.
You're going to get an Easter project.
Yep.
You're going to get spring camp dates. And you're going to get Christmas camp dates all on Wednesday. Okay? Can you believe it?
Unbelievable.
It's going to be a holiday extravaganza.
You know what? Yeah. What could be better?
So much to look forward to. And then on Thursday, Melanie will be here, which is always so wonderful.
We always are.
And
so
we'll be doing who even knows what Mom and Melanie will do. You saw what they did last time, and it was so weird. And I loved it.
Our foraging
with
project.
friends. Yeah,
well,
so
this is going to be a little foresty, but
I don't know.
not like that.
Possibly get more foresty.
No, they won't involve any die cuts, but it is going to be foresty and watercolory looking and stamping and just, yeah, we're going to do some fun things with that on
Did you
Thursday.
show your box that you finished it and did it right side up?
Oh, you guys.
That's a happy ending too.
All right, here it is. Check it out. And ta-da, all fixed. How about that? Yeah, blooper reel for sure with some of what I've been doing lately, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll talk to you on Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Bye.